All right. Today is Thursday, March 3rd, 6:27 p.m. and this is an experiment episode 40. Episode 40. So, a couple things that the question is, how long can I do this before I finally crack and tell someone? Um the answer is, when did I start this? Back in August, maybe 6 months ago, probably something like that. Um, my dog's freaking out right now. Yeah, looks like seven months ago is when I started this. So how long does it take before I finally crack and tell someone? 7 months. So and the reason that I did was like kind of, so someone that I'd been talking to had they told me that they recorded a video for themselves of themselves, um, just to get inside their own mind, I guess. Basically like what I'm doing here, and and so I was like, basically, funny you say that, because for the last 7 months I've been recording these videos where I'm basically coaching myself. Um, and so I told her, uh, I told her that I've been doing this and I'm like 40 in. I didn't tell her how to find it. I didn't tell her what it was called. I just said that I'd been making videos and, uploading them to YouTube publicly, so anybody can view it if they can find it. But I didn't tell her like what it was or how to find it or how to, discover it or whatever. I just told her that I was doing an experiment, and I told her the parameters. Don't tell anyone, see what happens, and just do it and use it as my personal diary. And yeah, so I that was, one of the parameters, is to see how long I can go before I tell someone about it. And if I do, what prompts me to actually, do that. So it hasn't been fully compromised because I didn't tell her how to find it. But um, we've reached one of the first benchmarks in this experiment. 7 months is how long I could do it. That's not bad. But I haven't advertised it or anything like that. I just had to mention it because I was like, I've been doing this too. Funny you should mention it. So there's that. This move, man, it comes in waves, emotional waves. Sometimes I'm fine. Other times it's like, oh, shit. One of the things that I realized, like, as all of this has started to become more real with moving and the execution, as my dad said, when you start executing is when it becomes real. And that's the only way you really know what it looks like. And that's my little tag to it. But yeah, one thing that I kind of realized and came to terms with is that when I leave Nashville, I'm not just moving. I'm leaving behind an entire volume of my life, kind of, or at least in terms of my identity, kind of. I mean, because I basically reached the point where my career in pro audio is over. I mean, that's basically what I'm doing right now. Is I'm saying this career is over. Like, I'm ending this career path in pro audio. Oh, I hadn't quite said it quite like that until just now, but because I knew there were parts of me that I was going to be leaving behind, but that's like, that really is, that's the biggest change of all of this, is that I'm leaving audio. I'm leaving pro audio. I'm leaving music. Leaving entertainment industry, nightlife, all that just completely different trajectory now. And that's kind of a big transition. I hadn't really thought about it in those terms, but I mean, I'm never going to go back to running sound. If I ever do, it's going to be like a for fun thing randomly. I don't even know I would really want to do that, but who knows? But I'm leaving that career behind in doing that full time. Maybe I'll do my own stuff in the future, but as far as like career goes, I'm ending an entire career path that I spent the better part of 2 decades working towards. I mean, when's the first time that I decided I wanted to get into audio and that could be like a career path for me? It was 18, 17 or 18? 17 or 18. That is when 17, 18 years old, when I thought pro audio. And, even before, I'd been a musician most of my life. And I'm ending all of that. Kind of. Not entirely, but like any of that is just like hobby from here on out in life. And it's like I'm leaving an entire lifetime behind. Like all of this. Leaving Nashville is I don't want to say giving up on a dream, but it kind of is. I moved to Nashville to become a full-time sound tech, to have a career in audio. And it was like the pinnacle of my achievement in this, field. Could do more if I wanted to, but like, here's the thing. If COVID hadn't happened, I'd probably still be in the entertainment industry and sound, and I'd be fine doing all of that. But I remember 2020 when COVID hit. I was what, 32 years old probably 2 years ago now. Yeah, 32. And at that time I started to realize that like I couldn't work 5 nights a week anymore. And I was like, and I didn't have a social life, and all I did was work, and I needed more balance. I wanted to actually have friends and all this stuff and like go out and do things with people and develop relationships. And I couldn't do that if I was working 4 nights a week or 5 nights a week. So I was like, let me move down to 4 nights a week. And then right as that was about to happen, COVID hit and I lost my job. And then I had freedom to kind of just do whatever I wanted to whenever I wanted to do it. And I also, really got to liking not working 5 nights a week, not working at night, not working night shifts. I really started enjoying that. And then I went back to running sound, and it just wasn't the same. After I had a break from in that career trajectory, I didn't want to go back. COVID ended audio for me. COVID ended entertainment for me, because I learned what it was like to kind of have a normal life, carry normal hour, not normal life, but carry normal hours. Which is working during the day and not working all night. So once I realized that, it was like, okay, well, I need to find a different way to make money. But, and I went down a whole rabbit hole with all of that, which I'm not here to talk about right now. But what, I guess all of that to say, I got what I came here for, and now I'm moving on to the next thing. You know, I don't want to sleep on a bus going from town to town. You know, sleep on a bus with, 6 other guys or gals. Don't want to assume gender. Women work in the entertainment industry too. Um, little disclaimer so no one gets triggered. That's a whole other thing. But yeah, I was like, I don't, if I didn't have my 2 dogs or even 1 dog, then I might be okay with doing that. But even still, it's like, I don't want, like, eating whatever random food you can get your hands on is no way to live. It's just the tour life isn't the life that I would want to do. That maybe at one point I would have been okay with it. But when I stopped drinking and I did some trauma work and started healing some wounds and all of that stuff, I got comfortable just like being here in one, not having to run. I don't feel like I'm running anymore. And that was part of a realization I had with going back to Iowa, is that, I mean, yeah, when I left, I was totally running from Iowa. I want to get away from all of this. I need to leave. I need to get out. I was running away. Absolutely. Totally running away. And then I stopped. I just I'm not running anymore. I don't feel like I'm running away. I think there was a part of me that thought, if I ever go back to Iowa, then that means I've failed and all of this stuff, which just is bullshit. It's not true. Um, I'm going there for an opportunity this time. There's like a specific reason that I'm returning. Um, but it's not just moving to a new location. It's moving to a new career trajectory. It's moving to a new energy space. It's just like, it's not just a chapter. It's like I'm like closing a volume of my life. That's my dog. But yeah, it is. It's like act 1 over. It's act 2 is up next. And my dog's just way too excited right now. He's just way too excited. But yeah, I'm ending an entire life path and moving on to a different one. I think that's what's been stirring under the surface that I hadn't quite realized, is that this isn't just get like it's not just getting a new job. It's not just, it's I mean, that's what I'm looking at. What I'm looking at is new job, new opportunities, new location, but the shadow of that is an entire life being left behind. Which, I mean, I kind of need that to just close all of it. This is a similar feeling to what I had when I turned 30. When I turned 30, it was like my 20s are over and I can just kind of like, you know, be an adult now, kind of. I don't know if I'll ever fully grow up. I'm like, I wonder that sometimes. How adult am I? I mean, different people's definitions of being an adult. People have different criteria for what it means to be an adult. But yeah, that was, in the 30, when I turned 30, and now I'm in my 30s, and it's like 20 years behind. I can just, leave all that. It's the same type of thing. It's like I had to leave Iowa and move halfway across the country twice, three times, I guess. Iowa to New Jersey to Tennessee to Iowa to, I don't know, probably Texas is next. I think that's probably where it's going to be. We'll see, though. Maybe Boston. It's probably going to be like Texas or Boston, or I don't know. Probably Texas or Boston. Um, I mean, Texas is great because there's no state level income tax. Uh, one of the things that I think about. Um, but yeah, I'm not running, and I'm leaving a new. It's like I'm rebirthing myself in the same place. It is a bit of a rebirth in life. Like that's what it feels like. That's the vibe and the energy that I'm getting from this. And it's kind of like I'm really trying to avoid it, but it's inevitable. God. I'm trying to put it off for as long as possible. Just keep holding on. But it's inevitable, and so it's like I can let it happen. The question is, what do I have to give up? That sound. What do I have to give up? It's something that I feel like I need, that I don't need anymore. Or something that I feel like I need that I don't need. First thing I think about is weed. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it's true though. I don't feel like I need weed though. So it's not that. It's a need that I think, something that I think that I need. I'm going to pause this while I think on that. One thing that popped up is the need for other people to believe that I can do something. It's like the belief of other people, like other people's belief in me supersedes my belief in myself. That's not fun to digest. Because while I agree that that's not the good way to run that your belief in yourself should always supersede other people, if I'm really honest about myself, or honest with myself about myself, I do. I need other people to believe in me in order for me to believe in myself. I don't, and I don't even know if I believe in myself. I don't know if I actually believe that I can accomplish all of these things. Why? Well, what if I'm just delusional? The idea of being able to accomplish something. As I was thinking about this idea of, finishing what you started. And like, what does that actually mean though? It's like, oh, are you going to finish what you started? I mean, you finish when you stop doing it. Now I understand that criteria of from Nick Peterson, decision making criteria of, is this something that I'm willing to do forever? Because if I'm not willing to do it forever, then I'm not gonna do it. I don't know quite how to use that yet, but it's good to think about. Yeah, I'm leaving an entire life behind. I'm not just leaving the life I had in Nashville behind. I'm leaving behind, closing the chapter, whatever you want, or closing the book, whatever you want to call it, ending the act of the last 15, 16, 17 years. I'm giving up on a dream. Not giving up. I'm finishing what I started. That's wild. I did it. Took me 10 years to make it happen. It took me 10 years not even, well, let's see. I was 30 when I started going full, so 10, 11, 12, 11, 12 years to create, to get to the point, and another 3 years of living in it and enjoying it, and then I got bored. Not entirely. I just realized it wasn't for me anymore. And some people would say, they would be like, oh, tried to tell you, or blah, 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 this is blah, and all that stuff. But it's like, I'm glad that I did this. I think about, but when I was going to community college before I went to audio school, to really dig in, I remember applying to William Patterson University to their audio program, and my backup plan was, if I don't get accepted, then I'll go study electrical engineering at Iowa State University, and I'll go down that path. And then I got accepted, and I went to audio school, and I created that whole path. And I know that if I didn't create that path, if I would have gone to school for electrical engineering, I would have gone through it and I would have been happy, but I would have always been like, man, what would it have been like to do that? What does that look like? What does that feel like? And I'm glad that I got that. I'm glad that I didn't miss out on it. I'm glad that I, didn't miss out on what it's like to be in a fucking slaying rock band with, fans and, people, just to be on that side of it. I mean, yeah, was it a little toxic? Yeah. But God, it was so much fucking fun. It was crazy. I was unstable. And it was unsustainable. But God, it was fun. It was so fun. And being here on Broadway, it was so great while it lasted. While, it was what it was before it got to be what it is now. Broadway's different now than when I moved here. Drastically different than, I guess it's been 5 years. 10 years ago, significantly different. 15, 20. It's crazy, but it was like, I got to do a debrief on Nashville, and this is all going to be in it eventually. I'm going to have to do that, but not right now. But I met a lot of people, a lot of people, a lot of musicians, and I'd see them on the street. What's up? You go into a bar and you see someone, every single time. Not just that, but like, I knew the musicians on stage. I'd walk in like, hey, what's up? I know you. Generally. People knew who I was. I'd made a space for myself down there with the gig finder. I just kind of fell ass backwards into it. And built a whole community. God, it was such a fucking ride. This was fun. I'm glad I got to have the experience that I had in the entertainment industry, in the music industry, in the nightlife industry. I wouldn't take any of it back for a fucking second. And I would do it all over again. But I can't take it with me. I can't continue that life. So I have to let it go. And that's the hard part. Because it was so much fun. While it lasted. But came a point, I have to do things differently. I put in my 2 weeks yesterday. My manager said, I totally get it. No hard feelings at all. Like, totally get it. Because I was basically like, I thought I could slide back in, but the hours and the, time, and it's just like, it just, I can't do it. Can't do it anymore. Too old for this shit. And, and we were kind of like, what did I say? That how, choices are basically, sacrificing, one thing you want for something that you want more. I can't remember who said that. But what did he say? He said one of his favorite quotes was, what kind of shit sandwich do you want to eat? Or, he said my favorite quote about life is, what kind of shit sandwich do you want to eat? Which, I mean, it's kind of true. Like, everything comes with its drawbacks. And I was okay eating that shit sandwich. I was totally cool eating that shit sandwich. But eventually I got tired of it. I'm just reconciling. It's a lot. All right. I guess this is it. It's Thursday, March 3rd, 7:01 p.m. This is an experiment, episode 40. Peace out.